Hello everybody, and today I'm going to be redoing this lava rock waterfall that you see in front of you. As you can see, the moss on this waterfall is no longer doing super well, so I think now is a great time to start again from scratch. The first thing I needed to do in order to start again from scratch was removing the hardscape from this bowl. Now, as you can see, it was slightly tricky because each and every one of the rocks was silicone together. I didn't use any larger rocks, but once I got the main structure apart, it came apart easy enough. It was just a little bit tedious getting all the silicone out from between the rocks, but it was easy enough. Once I removed all the hardscape, I also took out the substrate, which was simple enough, and then I got the bowl squeaky clean so I could start on the hardscape. For this bowl, I didn't want to change anything up too much, so I'm going to use a rock and do another waterfall again, but I do want to keep this rock slightly elevated. First thing I'm going to add to this tank is actually going to be the substrate, which is just going to be some sand. I'm not going to add in any topsoil or aquasoil because I'm not planning on using stem plants in this tank, so it's not needed. With the substrate in, I'm going to do a height check just to see how high I want the rock off the bottom. Once that's done, I'm going to add in a couple of smaller dragonstone pieces. This is going to do two things. One, it's going to just add the height that I need to keep the bigger rock elevated, and two, it's going to look like there's erosion happening from this bigger rock, like it's a mountain and these are smaller pebbles coming off. With this, I'm happy with the height. I just need to make a few minor adjustments to the base, and then I can get this bigger rock in place. With the hardscape completed, I can move on to getting the hardware all set up, which means getting the pump situated and the waterfall looking good. The first thing I'm going to do with the hardware is just put in a small piece of filter foam, and this is just going to stop any of the sand or other particles that end up in the water from getting to the pump and keeping it running nice and smoothly. With that in, I can add in the mini pump and pretty much just jam it in. I'm not too worried about it floating away. Once the pump is in, I can add in the silicone tubing that will create the waterfall. With the hardscape and hardware all in place, all that's left to do is bend the pump around the rock and get it glued into place, which should be easy enough. Now, I know I said it would be easy enough to do, but when I was bending the tube around the rock, I accidentally put a little bit too much muscle into the gluing and bending, and I shattered the rock, which can happen from time to time with dragonstone. While I do hate to admit it, it does suck that I will have to start again, but no use in crying over spilled milk. All I'm going to do is remove all of the hardscape from the tank and start again with just the substrate in the bowl. Just like before, I still want to make a nice little waterfall with the rocks, so all I'm going to do is stabilize the new bigger piece with the other shattered pieces, and I'll eventually get escape that I am satisfied with. I didn't show this before, but I did glue the bigger piece to a smaller piece just for extra stability. With the glue drying, I figured now is a good time to add in all of the filter pieces, so the pump itself and the filter pad, as well as hide the pump behind some smaller rocks so you don't even notice it. Now, with the hardscape completed a second time, I can move on to getting the waterfall dialed in. To get the waterfall all set, the first thing I had to do was just trim up the excess tubing that was sticking out from the top of the waterfall. Now, with the tubing all trimmed up, the only thing left to do is get this filled up. Now with the tank all filled up, I can turn it on and check the flow of the waterfall, and I can make any adjustments that I need by blocking the flow or adjusting it with some smaller stones. With the flow of the waterfall adjusted, I can now move it back over to its shelf. In the meantime, I'm going to glue the rocks that are adjusting the flow, and once that's dry, I can touch up any final details for this tank. The first detail that I wanted to work on now that's back on the shelf was just moving some of the rocks back around and sort of organizing them slightly just so that they're a little neater and they're hiding the pump a little bit better because they did get moved when I was moving the tank back onto the shelf. The final detail that I want to add to this tank is some greenery, and for that I've got some bucephalandra just to go in between some of the cracks and crevices on these rocks, and I think this will tie the tank together quite beautifully. So everybody, that is everything for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please consider subscribing, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.